So been seeing a lot of things in social media about a recent interview, a YoshiP interview where he mentions something. I don't know. And again, this shit was translated. Um, uh, from Japanese to English, and people are claiming misunderstandings or whatever. But anyway, however the translation came through, as something about the stress in the game and alluding to wanting to reduce or increase the stress in the game, because apparently it's too low, or it's gotten to low levels, so perhaps increasing the stress. Right now the question is, what does he mean by stress? So a lot of people kind of jump to the conclusion, yeah, for the normal content. So increasing the stress of the game for the normal content. A lot of people interpreted that quickly to mean that it meant increasing the difficulty of the normal content in the game. And other people, quickly jumped on that and said, and actually, let me and bring it up real quick. I think, what's it a reply? I think I liked one of these. Yeah, here we go. So this was Final Fantasy 14 translation. I think I don't know what this account is. But essentially what it said was, so hey everyone, we're seeing translations from a Famitsu interview spreading that implies YoshiP wants to raise the difficulty of the game. This is not accurate. It's what it's saying, right? So it's simply, and I don't know if this is a spokesperson for YoshiP or is a spokesperson for the game itself. I don't know if this is a fan. I really don't know what this is. This is the screenshot, and that's all it says. Some Discord, maybe. So this is not accurate. It says YoshiP does not say, or YoshiP does say he thinks they might have overdone trying to make the experience of playing Final Fantasy XIV stress-free, and that they want to carefully change that a bit going forward, as he believes a little bit of stress here and there is just part of playing games. But he specifically says, and again, this is what I don't know where we're getting this clarification from. I wonder if this came straight from YoshiP or where did it come from? I really don't know. But he specifically says that this does not mean that they want to raise the difficulty. And then there's an interview and some sentence that was being left out, misinterpreted in translation. So I don't know if this is a misinterpretation, a translation issue, or a YoshiP personal clarification. I don't know what it is. But as I think about this situation, as I've played Final Fantasy XIV, nothing about Final Fantasy XIV has caused stress to me, with the exception of high-end content like Extreme Trials and Savage Raids and Evil East back in the Alliance raids, because they were kind of that's considered normal content, but it was kind of hard. There's really nothing else in the game that has caused me any level of stress. Now, there's a lot of things that's caused me a high level of annoyance, but I don't know about stress. So I think Sphia, I replied to a comment Sphia had where he says, stress does not equal harder bosses. There are so many ways to add more friction into the game. Gill sinks, that's annoying. Harder to obtain flying, that's annoying. Less convenient Aetherites, that's annoying. More complex rotations, is that stressful? Sure, you gotta work on your craft a little bit more. Less macro crafting. I think a lot of these, and then what is it? Bring back needing to be in the raid location to queue in. That's not stress. That's annoying as hell. That's like eliminating a quality of life. I don't see how it's stressful to do that. It's just annoying to have to go to the raid location to queue into the raid. That's just silly. Getting around and obviously it's not difficult. The technology exists to queue cross server for duties requiring you to be in a specific zone. Those are all annoying things. I guess stress can be something. It can be time sensitive. Like if you're required to be somewhere and you can't be because you have to make there, but that's super annoying though, right? Like, but time restrictions, like in what context? Like time restriction to complete, because I understand like if they give you, okay, you have 10 minutes to complete Tastasha, right? I mean, it's a super easy dungeon, but you have 10 minutes to complete it. So you're gonna try to speed through it. That's a bit of a challenge. But I don't know about like nothing with other type of things in the game. And again, stress is, and this is the other thing too, like, yeah, stress is super subjective too. But maybe stressful to me may not be stressful to someone else. So that's why like using the word stress for Yoshi P, it just opens a whole ocean of possibilities as to what he could potentially mean, because different things cause different stress for different people. But for me personally, um the only thing that has really, that I can say that has caused true stress was, it's the high end content, fighting content. It's like nothing in housing I think was particularly stressful. Flying is just annoying to me, like trying to obtain the flying zones. Like after I finished Endwalker, it took me months, like 6 months, to finally get all the damn flying unlocked for every region in Endwalker. So I just hate doing that. So I just avoid it. Promotion. Oh yeah, appreciate it. Neurotic practice. Thanks for dropping the note. So yeah. So I don't know. I think a lot of the things that he mentions here, I would consider it more to be like annoying. Like I'm like, oh crap, like a chore. Like I don't want to do it, but sure I'll do it. But I don't know about, stress necessarily. And I hope that it doesn't mean eliminating some of this quality of life stuff that have been improved in the game. I think that is good. Those quality of life stuff is what allows you to, like, take a break from the game and come back to it. Like, don't add stuff just to add it. I don't think we're in the age, right now in 2024, where that is, I don't know, the goal or the route that any of these games should be taking. So I don't know. That's just my take on it. I tend to agree with a lot of the different interpretations. Like I think Arthards immediately jumped to the conclusion that it meant increasing the difficulty, and other individuals jumped to the conclusion that it meant increasing the difficulty. And to me, that's what it would mean as well. Because really, if we're considering Endwalker, although I didn't do all of the content in Endwalker, but of course I did all of the normal content, or most of the normal content in Endwalker. When it comes to combat, none of it was really challenging, I would say. Um, where it would be like, oh man, I don't want to do this fight, I don't want to do this because it's too stressful. Like I don't. It was easy for the most part. But I'd be curious to see specifically. Oh, there you go. I don't know if. Oh yeah, no, I did do Barbarisha, I think. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for Endwalker. That's true. Um, so I'd be curious to know more specifically what he means by the stress, especially since we have all these people coming to the defense of, he doesn't mean the difficulty. Then what? Then what is he talking about? Um, but anyways, I tend to think that's maybe what it would be. That's really the only huge change I would say from like Stormblood to Shadowbringers. to Endwalker, you can definitely see the decrease in combat, in normal combat stress. Um, Even with the normal raids, even with the normal trials, with even with the alliance raids. Although I didn't do, there you go. That's one thing I haven't done. I still haven't done the last two alliance raids for Endwalker. Uh, but the feedback that I've heard so far is that they weren't necessarily challenging, especially in comparison with the Stormblood alliance raid and with the Shadowbringers alliance raid. Um, so yeah, I just kind of wanted to address that a little bit. Not big, it could be whatever, right? It could be a lot of different things, but to just come out and say no, he doesn't mean difficulty, I think that's also wrong. Yeah. Let me see, where was that? Um, yeah, not hard. They compare the difficulty to Evil East rates, and it's not even close to that. Yeah, that's what I hear. Not Evil East was challenging. Like you really had to try. Like you couldn't just BS your way around Evil East. Um, yeah. So to say that it's wrong, like he does not want to raise the difficulty. I don't know if that may be going a little too far and putting also another spin on what he said. So now we're just creating complete confusion and chaos, in my opinion. So, but anyways, I am curious to know and find out what that is. Um, what the stress is. I think whatever it is, it might improve. Um, it's going to improve the experience. It's going to improve the game. They're in there. They're assessing the changes. They're listening to the players. They're listening to the feedback. Most of the videos that have been created for players, a lot of players saying that they've quit Final Fantasy 14, or players saying that uh complaining that the game is just not hard enough. I mean, that's been the majority of the content created um on Final Fantasy 14 stemming from Endwalker. Um so I would imagine that it's related to that, because I haven't seen anybody put videos complaining about housing. I haven't anybody posting videos complaining about obtaining the flying ability or crafting or even rotations. Like most of what people have been complaining about or quitting the game for has been the repetitive nature of the expansion after expansion, because it's the same template that they use every single time, and they complain that the content is just too yeah, it's never can play about craft. Yeah, or that the content is too easy. Really, that has been the complaint. So if he's gonna address these things, he's gotta address what the majority of people are complaining about. Yeah, I know. Like nobody's complaining about um the ERP scene. No one's complaining about um the gold saucer stuff. Nobody's complaining about, at least making a video that's gaining views or waves. It's that the game's easy. That's been the major complaint. Um so I just assume that it's in relation to the difficulty, but we'll see. Only we'll find out. And I know that they're gonna, I think we're getting close to the release of the new expansion, and I know they have another event soon where they're gonna have some final announcements. So I think there we'll find out more about maybe what they meant, or so what are some new things that we're gonna see in the game. So until then, all we can do is do exactly what we're doing, and that's just complete speculation. But just wanted to address that. I'm excited for Dontro. Hell excited for Dontro. I think it's gonna be awesome.